Hello, everybody. So, welcome back to the session on second part of mixed projects. So, we are going to understand two or three more projects on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, some beginner level and some intermediate one. And this is lesson number 48. Let me check if I'm live. Okay, perfect. I think I'm live. Let's get started. So if you guys do not know what is happening here, so we are here creating a front end playlist, right? So that anybody, any beginner can understand from starting what is front end development and how we can create a website or a web page. And then slowly we'll move into the frameworks and other stuffs. And that's the playlist is all about. So this is all of free content. So I hope you are understanding what we are doing. Now, let's get started with this particular section. And if you do not know about me, then let me introduce myself to you. So my name is Ritwik Raj and I'm a corporate trainer. I've also worked as a content strategist and a research analyst and a subject matter expert in most of the edtech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience and I've trained graduates and corporate employees in EdCent and Capgemini. I've trained more than 38 students till now. It is increasing day by day. Subjects which I take is mostly front-end development, back-end languages, database languages, and some tips and tricks and guidelines how to crack an interview, either it's virtual or face-to-face. Okay. And also I have a very good news for you all that you can use my code, which is RIT10, to get a free Relevel sample test paper. So if you do not know what is Relevel, then let me tell you about it in just 1 minute. But if you know about Relevel, then you must be knowing that you have to give an actual test of 1000 marks, right? And to get an understanding what kind of questions will be asked there, you can get this free Relevel sample test paper by using my code, which is RIT10. Fine. Now let's move ahead and let's understand what is Relevel basically. So there are a lot of students who are from different fields, let's say BSc, BCom, or BCA somewhere else, right? And they are lacking opportunities because they want to move to IT industry, but they are lacking opportunities and they have applied for 50-60 companies but haven't been called for even a single interview, right? The reason can be anything. The reason can be your degree, the reason can be your maybe your resume, maybe your marks. It can be anything, right? So that's where Relevel comes in. It is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs only on the basis of your skill and talent. So if you have the skill and talent, you will be able to get the desired position in a company. Okay. Now, how we check or judge on your skills and talent? So basically, there's a test which you have to give for 1000 marks, and if you score above 700 marks, you will get passed and you'll get a profile which we'll create for you and we'll distribute it with all the national companies which we are client with, and then you will get interviewed and get hired. 50+ companies including top startups and unicorns are there with us, like Upgrad and all other companies. So do not waste time and please register. How to register and how to sign up, that's I'm going to tell you right away. But before that, also I want to include that if suppose you are failing in the test, you are not scoring above 700, if you're scoring below 700, no problem. After 30 days, you can reattempt the test, right? So if you can see in the description, there's a link given for Relevel. You can click on it and it will take you to relevel.com. And there you'll be able to see a sign up button. Once you click on it, you have to put up your mobile number and one OTP will come that you have to put it. And once you do that, you will come up to this page where you have all the tests given here. So based on your skill, you can choose what test you want to give, and then you can book a slot when you want to give the Relevel test, right? Of your own choice. Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Okay. Then you have to fill in your details for the admit cards. You have to fill your full name, email ID, birth year, current state, gender, and then you have to put up your code here, the RIT10 coupon code which I have shared with you, that you have to put up here and click on apply and then create account. Once you do that, this account will be created for you and the sample paper you will get here. Okay. So in this sample paper, you can get an idea what kind of questions will be asked in the actual test, and then it will be really good for you. Okay. So do not waste time because as I said, the slots are limited. And also please, if you have already registered, all the best. If you have not registered, do it now. And suppose if you are not ready for the test, you are thinking that, okay, these skills are not there with me. Maybe I will not be able to give this test properly, right? Then what you can do, you can see all the playlists which is going on in the CodeBeyond channel. Whatever playlist is there for backend, for Python, for all those, you can take time, you can go ahead and check it out, upskill yourself, and then when you're ready, come back and register yourself. Fine. So that's all about Relevel and the coupon code. So do not forget to use it. You can also join the Telegram channel. If you look at the description of the video, you can find that there is a Telegram channel link which is given. So you can click on it and you can join the Telegram channel, because there you will get an update when I'm coming live and at what time these all sessions are happening. Also, you'll get the code files in the Telegram channel as well. Next, please subscribe to the CodeBeyond channel so that more people will get to know that this kind of session is going on, and the faculty or the trainer or the educator is teaching really good, right? Also, please, if you're liking any of the sessions of mine, then please like it and share it with your relatives and other fellows or classmates as well, right? So that they can also get to know that these free sessions are going on, and they can also easily understand these kind of languages. Okay, let's move ahead and let's move to the mixed projects, which we are going to do and understand. So this is the second part. We have already understood how to create a calculator and how to create a digital clock and how to create a to-do list. Now what we are going to do is we are going to understand some more concepts, we are going to understand some more projects, and we are going to see how to work with that, right? So let me do something. Let me open up my Visual Studio Code, as you can see right now, and let me open up my Chrome also so that you can see the browser as well. Okay, now coming to the code, I'm just going to close this and I'm going to open a new one. I'm just going to write here frontend quiz.html. Okay, I think I've already created one folder, so let me open the folder itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to file, I'm going to go to open folder, I'm going to go to desktop, and this is my okay, let's do something. I can create a folder here also, right? So once again, just give me 1 minute. I'll just move the folders to my other folder, okay, so that you can see everything. So FE quiz and Carousel, these two things. Okay, cool, this is done. Okay, so you can see here there are two folders which I have given here, FE quiz and Carousel. So Carousel we'll see later on. FE quiz, let's understand what is this. So I'm going to create a file here and I'm just going to name it as fequiz.html. Okay, and this HTML page we are going to write the program for designing a quiz. So in this quiz also we are going to understand how JavaScript works here, and we are going to use some commands and methods of JavaScript here as well. Fine. Please let me know if you can see me clearly, as I can see that I'm a little bit dark. So please let me know if you can see me, okay? Otherwise I'll do something. Just 1 second, guys. Okay, cool. Fine. So this is what is your body, and we are going to write something here. We are going to write the title. We are going to write here Frontend Development Quiz. Fine. This is what I have written here as the title. Let me open it with the server. Let me save it first, and let's see in my browser. So you can see this is what is my page which is opening, Frontend Development Quiz. Now we are going to create a quiz here. So let's understand how do we do that. So let's go back and let's close this. CSS and all we'll write it later, but first we'll try to write the quiz itself, the HTML page we are going to create. So here, first of all, what you are going to do, first of all, we are going to put an H1 and you are going to just write Frontend Development Quiz. Okay, this is the heading which I've given. Now I'm going to put up a form, and in this form I'm going to just give an ID which is, let's say, quiz, And the another thing which I'm going to give here is also a name. So let's say quiz. Okay. Now inside this form, we are going to write all of our questions and all of the other things. So let's say the first question is HTML stands for hypertext. Let's say I'm giving here some underscore so that a person will understand that this is a fill in the blanks kind of question. This is done. This is my first paragraph which I have written. Here I'm going to give an input tag so that the user can actually write the answer in it. Okay, so I'm going to have type, going to write text, and then I'm going to put here name, which I'm going to give here it as question 1, because this is the question 1. This question 1 is completed. Now we are going to move to the next question. See, we are going to do 3 kinds of questions. The first question is fill in the blanks. The second will be a kind of a choosing question, and the third will also be a kind of a choosing question, but a little bit different. So here I'm going to use paragraph again, and I'm going to write HTML element is the root element of an HTML document. I'm going to just clear this out. The HTML element is the root element of an HTML document. Here, this is a true and false kind of question. So I'll give here input. I'm going to give here type radio because it's an input. It's a true and false kind of question. So here I'm going to give an ID. Let's say MC because it's multiple choice. Name, I'm going to give here question 2, and value I'm going to give here true. Here I'm going to close this and I'm going to write here true because that's how it will be showing it in my browser. The same way I'm going to copy and paste it for false. So I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it. This I'll just change to false, and here also I'm going to change this to 1 second. Here also I'm going to change this to false. Okay, so this paragraph is also done. So let me go back to the new question. So here I'm going to write paragraph. This paragraph, I have one question which is a multiple type choice of question. So which tag is used to describe the HTML images? Okay, now here, because it's a multiple choice question, so I will be having many options. I'm just going to put here input type equal to radio, and the next I'm going to put here the ID as same as the upper one. Also the name, I'm going to keep it now a different one because there we are having question 2. Here I'm going to give question 3 for all of the options. Going to put the first value. So the first value I'm going to just put here img, you know the answer, and I'm just going to put here img. Input is not never closed, so I'm just going to bring it down. 4 options. Going to just change the options. So let's say I'm putting here src, href, alt. Fine. But don't you think all these things I have written without any break? I have not given any break anywhere, right? So let's see first of all how this is appearing, and then we'll try to give the break. Okay, so let me go back to my browser. Let me save this. This is how it is looking like. So I have the front-end development. Is it in a... Yeah, this is how it is looking now. So I have front-end development quiz. HTML stands for HTML element is the root element of an HTML document. True or false? I can choose any one, right? And here also which tag is used to describe the HTML images. I can choose only one. Why only one I can choose? Because it's a radio, and also in the code I have written the name which is making this as one group and this as one group. If you remember in the forms I have explained you this. This is done, but I think we need some breaks, right? So we need a break somewhere here and somewhere here. So let's understand where and all we have to give the break. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to give here break after true, and also after this. Similarly, here, 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 and here. Let's save this. Let's go back to the browser, and I think now it's perfect, right? Now you have to put up the CSS code for it. The HTML code is finished. So we are going to write the CSS code for it, and then we are going to do the JavaScript. Okay, but quiz should not be only like when you're answering, right? It should be also like you have to submit the form so that it tells me how much you have scored in the quiz, right? So what we'll do after this form, we will write a particular div element to check the answers. Okay, so how we'll check the answers in JavaScript? We'll give the answers and we'll compare it using if and else. But right now here we are going to give an ID, and here we're going to write after submit, because after submit something should happen, right? So that's what I've given here as a div, and I'm also going to put up a PID messages. Why am I doing this? Let me tell you. So suppose from 3 questions, if only 1 question is correct, so my result should be that only 30% of the question is correct, 30% of the quiz is correct. So you have failed the exam. If suppose 2 of the questions are correct, then you are passing the exam with 70%. If you have given all 3 questions correct, then it's going to be 100% correct and you have passed the exam or quiz. So that all things should be displayed somewhere, right? So that's why I'm creating this paragraphs, so that all those things should be displayed here. But internally everything is happening via JavaScript. Okay, so I'm going to put here again one more P, and I'm going to give it an ID. Let's say how many number of questions are correct. That ID will create here. How many number of questions are correct. The next I'm going to put here it as, okay, let's leave that. So here, let's start our script. Now when you're writing the script, make sure that if the script is big, then you have to use another external script. So I'll be using here quiz.js, which is my JavaScript file. I think it is not created. So what I'll do, I'll click on this and I'll create a file. I'll name it as quiz.js. Also, I have to create a file for CSS. So I'm going to create a file for CSS. Let me name it as style.css. Cool. So all the files are created for my FE quiz, and this is also, I guess, done. Let's save this. Let me first show you how this is appearing. This is how it is appearing. I think I'm missing one button here on which you should click, right? You should submit also, correct? The submit button is missing here. So let me put down a submit button somewhere here. I'm going to put an input, I'm going to put a type, and I'm going to put here button. Here I'm going to give ID as button, and also I'm going to give here value. Let's say I'm giving the value as I'm finished. That means I'm finished with the quiz. Once you click this, some function should get on, that is check function. Okay, this is the input. Let's again go back to the browser, and I hope you can see this. Let me give some BR here so that it will give a space. Okay, this is what I have written in the HTML. Let's go to CSS and let's give some styles to it. Okay, so let's come back to the CSS. Now here in the CSS, we are going to do a lot of things. Okay, so let's understand what all things we are going to do. First of all, I'm going to create, I have to go to HTML and I have to give here the style, sorry, the link. I'm going to use the link tag style.css, and now let's start our styling. So let's go to style, body. In the body, I'm going to give a font family so that the way it is written, it's getting changed. So let's say I'm putting here Lato and sans serif. Okay. I think you're not being able to see the code, right? Yes. Here in HTML, I've just included the link, and in this style, I've just written body, font family, Lato, sans serif. Okay. Let's save this. Let's go back to my browser, and you can see the font family has been changed. That's it. Let's come back to the code and let's write some other codes. Now, if you remember in HTML, we have given an ID which is quiz here, right? And this quiz is an ID of which form? The whole form. So to the whole form, we will be giving something. Because it's an ID, so I'm using here quiz. I hope you can see my ID right now. Guys, if anytime you're not being able to see the ID, just give me an information, okay? Because I'm switching between two windows, so I don't really understand. So please do let me know, okay? 0 pixel, margin left. I'm going to give here a background. Let's say I'm giving here it as a pink color. Let's say this one, okay? This is the background. I'm going to give a padding. Padding I'm going to give different. Let's say 10 pixel I'm going to give top, and left and right I'm going to give 20. Okay, and next I'm going to give width. Width I'm going to give device width as per the device, and the next I'm going to give here is border radius, so that it gives you a curve on the corners. This we have understood in our canvas and SVG also. Float I'm going to use to make it move to the left hand side. So let me go to the browser first of all, and let me show you how this is appearing. If I save this whole thing, the whole form is coming inside a pink box, which is pale violeted, some kind of color. And then we have all the things here in which padding is given. As you can see on the top and bottom, there is only 10 pixel, and on the left and right, there is 20 pixel. Fine. This is how it is looking like. Let me give something more, because the front-end development quiz is not in the center. Yeah, so let's do something for that. So here, let's say for H1, I'm going to put here text align center. Now it's in the center, as you can see, and this is on the left hand side. Everything is fine now, right? So now let's go ahead and let's write the input thing. For the input, whatever changes we want to do in the CSS. Let's come back, and here we are going to do something. We are going to give something for the input. So what we are going to do here is, let's say I'm putting here input. This hash input is basically the ID which I've given. If you look here, text box is here, button ID is here, input is not there. One second. Okay, let's leave input. Let's move to the text box then. Text box. In the text box ID, what we are going to give, what is the text box? First of all, the text box is basically this one, right, which is the question number 1, right? The text box which we can see in my browser, that is the text box. Can you see this white color? So we want to do something here because it's looking very abrupt. So what we can do is, we can come back here to the text box and we can give here some height and width. So let's say we are giving a height, let's say 22 pixel. The next we are going to give a width. Let's say I'm giving 120 pixel. The next I'm going to give here as font size, let's say 16 pixel. And I'm going to give here a border radius. so that it looks the same. So I'm going to give here a small border radius of 5 pixel. Border don't want anything, so I'm going to put here none, and I'm going to give a padding left which is 5 pixel. Okay, this is for the text box. So let's have a look. If I save this, you can see there's a, if you can't see, let me increase it. You can see there's a curve here, and this is now very small, so you can write whatever answer you are getting. Let me keep my web page in this position itself so that you can see whatever is happening in the code. Let's come back to our code, and in the text box we have given all these things. So now we'll go ahead and we'll write the button. So let's write for button what we'll do. So in the button, button is basically the button which is at the last, right? So button is basically this button, the last button, right? So for this button, we want it to appear again something very cool. So we are going to give here green, the color. Then we are going to give here border as none. We're going to give here border radius. Let's say again 5 pixel. Next we are going to give here as padding. Next we are going to give here the color, the text color as white, because the background color is green. Font size I'm going to give here it as 16 pixel. And the next is, now here I'm going to give here margin top as 15 pixel. Now if I go back to my browser, if I save this, look at the button which is I am finished. So that is becoming something like this. Now here's something we can use which I have not explained you, which I will explain you I think in my next sessions, which is transition. Okay, so let's say that you're writing here transition duration, right? Transition duration, I'm just giving here it as 0.5 seconds. Okay, what is this transition duration? Let's observe. If I go back to my browser and if I save this, right, so you can see what is happening. There is a transition which is happening, right? It's coming very, right? That is what is the transition duration. So for 0.5 seconds, transition is happening. Okay, if I increase the seconds, for more duration that transition will happen. But don't worry if you're not understanding that, because in animation and transition I will again come up with that and I'll explain you what is it. But right now let's write the code for hovering. So for button I want to give an hover effect. So for this button hovering effect, I want to make it background white, from green to white, and I'll also give a border. Earlier the background color was green, now the border will be green, and the color will be black as soon as I hover inside that. Also the cursor should change to pointer. Fine, let's come back to the browser. Let's save this. And now if I'm hovering, everything is getting changed, right? The border which you can't see is actually very small. It's 1 pixel. That is why you can't see. Let me increase it to 2 or 3 and you'll be able to see the border. Okay, the green border you can see, right? So that's what it is. Let's come back. Border hovering effect is also done. Now if you look at here in the quiz detail, we have an ID which is after submit, right? So after submit, we will also write some CSS. So what we'll do, we'll write here an hashtag, we'll write submit, and to this we'll try to give something. Okay, so after submit, what you're going to do, right now the visibility of this will be hidden. Okay, I hope you know what is visibility hidden. So right now, visibility hidden means that the space will be taken, but it won't be visible. The visibility is hidden right now. Okay, so in the visibility hidden in JavaScript, we will convert it into a block, and then we will show the user that what is hidden. Okay, but right now at beginning this is hidden, and I'm also going to give a color to it. So let's say a blue color, and I'm going to use a padding. Let's say I'm giving 10 pixel, 20 pixel, 10 pixel. Next, I'm going to use the width. I'm going to give device width, the exact device width, how much ever it will take. Border radius, I'm going to give here 20 pixel. The next I'm going to give here the float so that it is floating to the left hand direction. The next I'm going to give margin left, which is 20 pixel again, and font size, which is 30 pixel. Right now you won't be able to see anything because this is hidden. So okay, nothing is visible. It's here somewhere. Okay, but it is not visible right now because I've made it visibility hidden. Okay, so soon you'll be able to see it when I'll write the JavaScript code. Okay, so let's go ahead to the code. So after submit is done, we are going to we are going to write the JavaScript part now. Okay, so in JavaScript what we have to do is, we have already given the script.js, I think, yeah, quiz.js we have given. So we have to start writing our function. Now understand, the whole motto of this is only on one function, which is check, right? It will check whether your answer is correct or not correct. So we need to write that. So we'll write here function, we'll write here check, and we'll explain what this check should do, right? So first of all, var question1, we'll take this variable var question1, and this will store everything. One second. This will store everything from the quiz, from question 1, question 2, and question 3. So in the quiz, if you see here, we have given several names to it, right? So in the name quiz, we have another name which is question 1, we have another name which is question 2, and we have another name question 3. That's what we are going to use here. So we can write here that quiz dot question 1 dot value. We can write something like this. We are not using get element by ID and all because we want to fetch the output from the names right now. So we are using the name directly. We are saying question 1. We will also make it for question 2 and question 3. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to change this to 2 and I'm going to change this to 3. Cool. So question 1, question 2, question 3 is done, and let's write here correct. Correct is a variable where right now the correct value is 0. It will increase as soon as it will understand that which option is correct. Okay. So now let's write the logic. So if question 1, that means that variable question 1, if the question 1 is equal to markup. What was the question? Hypertext is a dash language, right? Hypertext markup language. So markup is the answer. So what will happen if this is true? Correct variable will increase. Similarly, what we are going to do, we are going to write it for the another part. So if question 2 is equal to true, because the question was true and false and the answer was true, so then also correct will increase. Next, again, if question 3 is equal to img, right? Img was the option which was correct. If this is the option, then again correct plus. Let's check out first whether this was the thing which we have seen. So we have here true. As you can see, the value true. Here we have the img, right? So that's how it's gonna take it. One second. I'll do one thing. I'll use here the same way because you'll get confused. Okay, let's save this. Let's go back. So this is what I have written. Whenever these things are found out true, then the correct value will increase. Fine, this is done. Now what next? So we have to print the message, right? So how to print the message? What we'll do is we'll write a message variable and it'll print a message here. So let's say I'm printing it an array. We are giving it an array. We are giving 3 values. Suppose if the person is scoring 100%, we'll see great job. If suppose only he's getting 50%, then that's just okay. And if suppose he's failing, then you really need to work hard. So something kind of that we are going to put. So let's say great job. This is my first value. The another value which we are going to be, that's just okay. The next value which we are going to give is you really need to work hard. So we have used here an array. Okay, I hope you're understanding how this looks like. Fine. So this message has been written, and now what we'll do is we'll start putting up this message when this message has to be shown. I have the range, var range, and suppose if correct value is less than 1, what's gonna happen? Range will be 2. If suppose correct option is greater than 0 and correct is lesser than 3, that means either the person is scoring 1, 2, right? Either the correct variable value is 1 or 2, then what's going to happen? The range will be becoming 1. Okay, lesser than 1 is range 2. Now understand what is range. See, this is index 0, this is index 1, and this is index 2. So when I'm saying if user is only not correcting even one of the question, then the range is 2. Which is range is 2? You really need to work hard. If the answer is correct 1 and 2, only 2 or 1 question is correct, then range will be this one. That's just okay. At last, if the correct option is greater than 2, then what's going to happen? Range will become 0. That is great job. Okay, now we need to just print it, because right now we have just written the logic. So now we need to print this, the complete thing. We need to print it. So how we'll print it, guys? I can't see any live chat. Gajanan Vashane, sir, is it Manipal University online PG degree valid for company job and government job? What is it related to? I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding your question. Can you please tell me? Manipal University online PG course, where is it? Who is providing? Please do let me know. Okay, so I have document dot. So what I'm going to do here is I need to print everything, right? So get element by ID. You remember the ID after submit? I'm going to use the same ID, because after submit it should be now visibility on. So I'm going to put here style dot visibility equal to visible. You can do this using CSS also. I can do this using JavaScript also. You must be knowing, because I have explained this. Dot style dot background color, you can change it using that. So if you can use any properties of style using JavaScript, you can use visibility also. So I'm just making it visible. After that, I'm going to put up get element by ID here in the messages section, in the messages part, dot inner HTML. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write here messages range. The array, what was the array name? It's message, right? And what was the ID name? It is messages. You need to take care about this. Okay, what is messages and what is message? Messages is the ID and the array name is message. So that's why I've written here. Range is in a square bracket because it will become message 0, message 1, message 2. That's how it's going to work. So I'm going to put this here. Now, one more thing we have to do, document dot get element by ID. Okay, where number correct, because we need to show how many how many questions are correct, right? And who will give me the answer? The correct. Do you remember the correct variable? That's what is gonna give me the answer. So I'm using one particular entity here. If you remember what is entity, I have explained you this. I'm using here one entity. You got plus correct, which will give me the value plus, I'm going to give a space here again, correct. Okay. Okay, the quiz is also ready. Let's move ahead to the browser. Let's save this. Okay, so now you can see here, I can type here something, right? So let's say I'm putting here markup. Let's say I'm putting here true, and let's say I'm putting here image. If I click on this, can you see what I'm getting here? I'm getting a blue color border here in which great job is written, and then it is saying you got 3 correct. Let's reload the page. Let's write here cascading. Let's write here false, and let's write image. I'm clicking on this, you got 1 correct. That's just okay. Let's reload the page. Let's write here style. Let's write here false, and let's write here something else. This says you got 0 correct. You really need to work hard. Fine. So this is how it is giving me everything. I'll again show you the code once more. Please have a look. All the things I've explained clearly. The blue color is coming because of CSS. In the CSS, if you see, I have given here background color blue, visibility hidden, padding, how much should be the width, how much should be the border radius, all of those things I've given there. That's why it is coming. And please do not think that it is only typing it like this. This is in 150%. If I decrease this, this is how it is coming. Okay, so please make a note of that as well. Have a look in the JavaScript portion, because JavaScript portion is the main part, right? So please understand that. So can we also use display block? Yes, you can use display block to show anything. You can use anything. मणिपाल यूनिवर्सिटी का ऑनलाइन पीजी डिग्री लेने के बाद जॉब के लिए कोई प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है क्या? आई डोंट थिंक यू विल हैव प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज इफ यू आर डूइंग एनी पीजी डिग्री you will not have any problem. But I can't suggest you in that because I've not taken it. I just know that these kind of PG courses are there, and they do assure you some placement opportunities, right? So if you're going ahead with that, go ahead with that. But understand one thing, that right now, because of COVID in these 2 years, there are a lot of free courses available, and everybody is going on free, right? There's no one thing which is not free. Everything is there in YouTube and everywhere else. So before spending something, go ahead and use that free content and get some knowledge. Okay, if you are willing to do some PG online courses, then you can go ahead. Okay, fine. So this is done. Our quiz is created, and I hope you understood this. Please let me know if you have understood this. Please do let me know if you have any doubts. If you want me to open any of the file and you want me to show anything, please do let me know. Okay, otherwise we'll move to the next project. Okay, okay, if you have any doubts, please do let me know. If it is clear, then let's move to our next one. We are going to understand Carousel. Okay, Carousel is basically a very famous thing. In any of the web e-commerce platforms, you will be able to find this Carousel. Okay, where images can be slides, right? It's kind of a slideshow where multiple images can be seen, right? So that itself we are going to see. I'm going to close this. I'm going to open this, and so you can see here 3 images we have kept. One is this one, second one is this one, and the third one is this one. So my plan is to bring all these 3 images inside a carousel. Okay, let's create another file here, and let me write here index.html. Cool. And inside index.html, I'm going to write the code. So let's say putting up here understanding carousel in JS. I don't think there is much of JS here because there's no click. Let's write only this much. Let's open it in the browser. Let me show you, and let's close this quiz. Let's move ahead to the carousel and we'll understand how this is written. Okay, I'm going to close this and let's start writing our HTML part of it. Fine. So now there are some of the things which are new here which we'll be using. So if you have any doubts, please do let me know. And there will be functions as well. Okay, this is a very big program. I don't know if I'll be able to complete this in the given time. If not, then I'll be giving some assignments. Okay, so let's say I'm giving a div. I'm putting up here a class and I'm just writing here slideshow container. Okay, this is just the container inside which all my different images will be there. So I'm using a div again. I'm using a class. These classes will be used in my CSS and in my JS. I'm using here my slides fade. Again, this is another div. So inside this, we will have one more div where we will put up some text. I'm going to put here class and I'm going to put here number text. In this, I'm going to put here one particular thing which is 1/3. Because this is 3 images which you are using, I am first want to show you the first one. That's why this I've written as a text. Now I'm going to put up the image. So image src. I'm going to put up the pic1.jpg. And then I'm going to put up a style and I'm going to give a perfect width to it, because for all the images, for all the 3 images, width should be same. If it is different, it won't look good. So all the images are of the same size. Yes, so that's a very good question, Parak. Why we use div all the time? And this is very irritating, right? Every time you have to use div. See, basically div is like a container, and if you put everything inside a container, you can design that container and you can give commands to that container very easily. Okay, let's imagine that you are not putting any div, you are just directly putting everything. Let's say that these 3 lines are not there itself and I'm directly writing 1/3. Okay, what will happen if I want to style this 1/3? If I want to give some commands or some rules or some styles and properties to this 1/3, it will only get applied to this 1/3, right? But I don't want that. I want that there should be a container inside which 1/3 is written, so that if I want to give a different property to 1/3, I can give it. And if I want a different kind of color to that div inside which 1/3 is there, then also can be done. That also can be done. That's why we have different levels of containers, because there is a need of those containers. See, if I don't have the use of this container, I will not write it, right? But I have the use of these containers. I want to use these containers. That's why I'm writing div. Wherever you don't require it, don't use it. That's not a problem. You don't use it, right? But div containers are always very efficient to use. If you have seen my table-based layout projects, right, 1 and 2, if you have seen my project, you must have understood that I am using one table and then inside that I'm again creating one more table. Why? Why am I doing that? Because it is working as a div. It is working as a container. So inside one table, I have another table, and inside that table, I'm putting all the content. So that if I have to some later on time, maybe I have to color that table. So I can color that specific table. If I have to color the outside table, if I have to give some functions to the outside table, I can give it, because I have made it sure that it is somewhere inside containers. That's why container is important, right? If you'll keep all your masalas in the kitchen here and there, how you'll understand which masala is where, right? That's why your mom uses containers for everything, right? That it's arranged, right? That's the same answer which I'll give you here. Now I'm going to give here div for the class, which is just a normal text. You can use paragraph also, but I'm just giving div because I have to give here some JavaScript code for this. So this is done. Now this is only for one of the image, right? I have to put it for some more images, right? So what I'm going to do here is div class slideshow. I'm going to copy this much, put it here, put it here. I'll change this to 2. I'll change this to 3. Other than that, everything will be same, right? Now 3 images are there in my page. So let me show you my page first of all. Okay, so you can see here 1 by 3. After that, one image. Again, caption text will come for that image. 1 by 3 again. Okay, this should not be 1 by 3. I need to change this. This should be 2 by 3. Two and then 3. Okay, if I save this, now you can see all my images will be in the. So you can see we have 1 by 3. This is the first image. For first image, the caption text. Caption text is basically the description of that image. Then again, second by 3, that means 2 by 3, I have the image, caption text for that. 3 by 3, an image, caption text for that. Now I don't want it to scroll it like this. I want to scroll it left and right. So I have to do something for that, right? That's what we'll do here. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some commands here. Have a look what I'm doing. See, I want some arrow buttons so that when I click on that arrow button, the second image should come, right? When can I click something? If I use anchor tag, then only I can click something. I'm giving here a class which will go to the previous one. Okay, it will go to the previous one, and I'm giving here one on click command. So when it is clicked, something should happen. It should basically subtract the slide. So plus slides is a function. I'm giving a value to it which is -1 because it should go back, right? It should go back. So -1. I'm going to close this, and here I'm going to use one entity. If you remember, entities are the codes which you give for the arrows. I'm just going to give here 10094. These codes you can get anywhere in the Google. Nobody will tell you in interview also that you have to tell me what is the code for that. Nobody will tell like that. Okay, class next, because this is my next arrow to bring the next image on click, and here I'm going to use plus slides, but this time the value will be 1. Okay, because I want to add more images. When I'll write the JavaScript for that, then you will understand. I'm going to put here and I'm going to put here hash, and this time 10095, because that's gonna give me the other side of the arrow. Okay, let's have a look how this arrow looks like first of all, because this will be visible in my browser. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to here. Yeah, can you see down? I don't know if you can see it. Down you can see there's an arrow coming here, right? So those are my arrows. Fine, I don't know if you can see that. Just let me know if you can't. So those arrows are coming because of that, right? So my div is done. My HTML is covered, but I have to do some more things here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put here one BR, and after this I'm going to put one more div because I want to write something. I'm going to give here style, put this in the center, and to this div what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a span, that is an inline element. Okay, I'm going to give here a class. I'm going to give here a dot. The dots, if you remember in Carousel, whenever you are changing the images, you can see some dots are there. 3 dots are there, right? In any of the website you can see there are 3 dots. When you click those dots, what happens? It takes you to the another image, right? So this is what I'm putting up here. So I'm putting here on click, and I'm going to just put here current slide 1. These functions I will write, then you will understand what are these functions doing here. Why I've given class dot? Because with HTML you can't produce the dot, right? With CSS you can. So I will use dot class in my CSS so that I can give you a dot. So here it will change to second image. Here it will change to third image. Don't worry, current slide function and plus slide function, these both functions will be written in the JavaScript. So don't worry about that. This is done. Let's save this. Nothing will happen in HTML because I've not written anything such like that. I've just created one span. Span is not showing anything until I write CSS, correct? So let's go back to the CSS and let's write some CSS, okay? Let's save this. I don't think JavaScript I can write here today in this session. Maybe I have to explain it in the next session, whatever it will be the next session. So let's see how much I can complete. Let's see if it's style we can do. So in style, I'm using a universal selector, and in the universal selector, I'm giving box sizing. Now understand what is box sizing. Box sizing is basically do everything in a box. Okay, everything whatever you write written here, everything will appear it as a box. So if I save this once again, you can see here this whole thing is now be considered as a box. Okay, you can see this whole thing is now a box. These are not now separate areas. This is now total a box. Okay, now this whole box I can compress, right? One example I can give you, like if you have a carton box, when you fill some items into it, it looks very heavy and occupied, right? But when you tap it and when you compress it, the box size becomes small and space also gets filled up, right? The same thing is happening here. We are making it as a box. So this whole thing is now a box. Okay. Using CSS, we did that. Now let's come back to our code. Now in the body, we will give something. So let's say in the body, I'm giving here font family, Vardana. Okay. And sans serif, and I'm also going to give here a margin which is 0. Fine. Next, I'm going to go ahead with my slides. Now I hope you remember where we have used this class. We have used this class here, my slides, in all these three, right? So here we want the appearance to be display as none. What is none? Basically, it should not show you the item. You remember display none, right? Visibility hidden, display none. So it should not show me the images right now. That's what it is telling me, okay? So it should not show me any image. We will also give something for the IMG. We'll make it vertical align to middle so that all the images are in the middle. Fine. Let's go ahead to the browser and let's see the changes. So if you look here, everything is gone. There's no images because I have said display none. When I want to show the image, we will see it in JavaScript. Let's go back to the code. In website random image, one second. In website random image automatically comes in background. How to do that? Random image automatically comes in background. How come a random image will come? You must have given something, right? In this website are you talking about, or in your example website which you are creating? Please do let me know. There are difficulty with width when we use %px because when we resize the window it will distort. Yes, it will. So that's why you have to use max width. Okay, use max width, then you will not have any problem. When you will use max width, if you even make your Chrome browser here and there minimum or maximum, that will not distort anything, right? Okay, you're creating another website. Random image automatically comes in background. How to do that? Random image automatically comes in background. So you can use source.unsplash.com. Basically, there are some websites which provides this random images. Okay. Yes, you can do that. So whenever you reload the page, random image will come. Good idea. I'll include this in my next project. Whenever I'll do the next session, I will bring up one project where I can show you how random images can be included in the background. Fine. Right now what we will do, we have a lot of CSS to write. So let me just write it. Slideshow container, a class. let's write that. So I'm going to give here a max width. I'm going to give here 1000 pixel. That is the max width. That means this div element max width is 1000 pixel. The screen, my laptop screen size is different. It's 1080, but I have written 1000 pixels so that the image is only coming inside 1000 pixel. That is what I've written. And I'm going to give here relative position because I'm using images, so that images should not move here and there, right? It should be relative to the div element. Next, I'm going to give a margin which will be auto. Fine. Let's save this. Nothing will happen in my browser, so I'm not going to show you that. Let's write something for my prev and next. So for previous and next, we are giving some commands here. First of all, the cursor should change to pointer because you will be clicking that. Next, position should be absolute because already you have given the div elements to be relative, and this will be your parent and child combination. So absolute is must. From the top, I'll be giving 50%. From width, we'll give auto. Padding, we'll give 16 pixel. Margin top, we'll do minus 22 pixel. And color, we are going to give the text color, let's say as white. This is not the text color, this is basically that arrow, right? That arrow color is white. Font weight, we are making it bold because right now it's not, it will be above the image, right? So because it will be above the image, you have to make sure that it is visible. So I'm making it bold. Font size, again, it will increase the size of that thing. So I'm just making it 18 pixel. And border radius, I'm going to give it as 0, 3 pixel, 3 pixel, 0. So only to the right and to the bottom I have given this. Okay. Then user select. Now this is what user select. That means user cannot select this particular arrow. Okay. So let's save this. Let's go back to my. Okay. Right now you can't see anything because I've written position absolute. So image is also not there. Okay, so I think I'm back. One second, guys. Okay, I hope you can see my Visual Studio Code. Okay, fine. So I think some problem happened. No problem. We'll do something. Already time is over, right? So in the next session, whatever next session will be there, right? What we'll do is we'll complete this particular portion itself. Okay. We'll try to complete this and we'll see how this project will work. Fine. So I'll do something. I'll create another session as well, right? I'll create a mixed project 3 and we will see again how this will be done because I have some more projects to do. So in that we will continue this. Fine. For now, thank you so much for your time. And once again, I'll just open some things to end the session. Okay, so thank you so much guys for attending. This is the Telegram channel which you have to follow. You can follow it. You can join this channel, Telegram channel, using the link which is given below. And once you click on the link, you will be able to join the Telegram channel. Here we'll be passing on all the documents and all the different things and all the files and all the project files and all, and also the notifications when I'm coming live. These things will be updated here. You can also subscribe the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, so that other people will also get to know that these sessions are going on. And also, if you're liking the session, then please like and share. Do not forget, I'm again going to come back with more mixed projects, and we are going to complete together the project which is pending. Fine. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.